If you have ever tried building a website, you've probably been told that you need to program, learn JavaScript, HTML, and even Python to make a decent looking website. And that was true for some time. Making websites used to be something that only people with high skills in programming could do. You'd need years of experience just to build a decent looking website. But today there are no-code tools that you can use to make websites without any prior coding knowledge. Now the tool that I would like to introduce to you in this video is Webflow. Webflow is a no-code tool that many web developers use, and I use personally myself, to make websites like these and these. Now how did I do it? That is exactly what I want to show you in this video. Now when learning how to make websites, in my opinion the best way to do it is just go in and actually start a project. So what you're going to do is open up Webflow, and if you do not have an account, you're going to land on this page. And then you're going to press register now, and you're going to create an account. Now since I already have an account, I can go to my dashboard, and this is where all of the projects are. Okay, so when you go into Webflow, you're going to land in the dashboard. And let's just say you're not in the dashboard and it brings you to this page, but you've already registered. Just click on View Dashboard, and it will automatically take you to this page. In here, when you're first starting out, you're not going to have any projects, obviously. So what you're going to do is click on New Site, click on Blank Site. I'll rename this website, let's say just First Project. Let's see, Create Site. And just like that, officially you have your first project. So for this first project and this whole series, what I want to teach you guys to do is we're going to duplicate Apple's website. Now, Apple's website, you have to understand that it is very complex, very advanced, but we're going to be taking this slowly, step by step, so that you can adapt to every new level that we get to. For this first day, we're only going to be creating this first section of Apple's website. It's called the Hero section. And you can see in here we have a background image. We have 1, 2, and 3 pieces of text, and then we have 2 buttons. We're not going to be doing the navigation bar for right now, just the hero section. So going back into Webflow, go and press this plus button on the left corner, and then you're going to be brought to this section here. Under here, you can see there's a lot of different elements you can use, but for right now, just know that there's a section, there's a container which goes into the section, and then there's a div block which goes into the container. As you can see, we have the section in here, container, and then a div block. So right now, press on the section, and you can see we have the section right here. First things first, let's name our section. For that, press on the section, go to the right side in here where it says select a class or tag, press, and type hero section. Next, what we're going to do is add padding to the sides. If you don't know what this is, follow my steps and I'll explain. Press on the section. On the right side, you can see there's a spacing section in here. Under spacing, there is margin and there is padding. Padding is everything that's inside, is all the space you add inside. Margin is the space outside. What we're going to do is add 60 pixels of padding on the right side, the top, bottom, and the left side. This will allow us not to have anything that's attached to, let's say, the right corner or the left corner. It's all going to be neatly in the center. So for that, press on the padding here and then press 60. It's already set to pixels. If it's not pixels in here, just press and then change to pixels. Going back, 60 in here, 60 on the left, on the right side, and then 60 on the bottom. So you can see all around we have 60 pixels padding. Now click on the hero section and then we want to add a container, right? Because as I said before, containers going to the hero section or containers going to the sections. So press on the section, press plus, and then press container. Now we have a container, but in the container, as I said, we need to have a div block. As you progress, you might feel like you don't need to add a div block, but for right now, let's learn all the fundamentals so that it's easier for you later on. So pressing on the container, go to the plus, and then scroll down in here to the div block under the basic. Press on the div block, and then you can see now that you have a div block. Now, as you can see, the div block went right on top of the container. On the left side in here, press these 3 lines. It's your navigation, or you can just press Z and it's a shortcut. It opens up your navigator. In Under your navigator, you can see we have our hero section, our container, and our div block. So this is how you select different elements in your body, in your website. So now close that navigator, press on the div block, go to the plus button, and as you can remember, we had a header named iPhone. So what we're going to do is under plus, search elements and just search head. There it is, heading. Press on the heading and off, and on the right side of text, delete the heading and type iPhone. Now in the Apple's website, you can remember that iPhone was aligned in the middle. So if we wanted to align this in the middle, we would press on the heading, go to the right side, and scroll down to where it says typography. On the right side of align, you can see there's a center alignment button in here. Press on that and you can see the iPhone is neatly centered. Now in Apple's website, you can see that iPhone is pretty big. And judging from our text, it is not as big as the one in the Apple's website. So to change the size of the heading under typography, you can see it's 38 pixels. I'm going to change it to 45. For now, that's good for me. If we need to do anything later, I can always change it again. So now go to your navigator or just press Z and press on the div block and then go to the plus and let's add another heading. This heading is going to be for the Meet the iPhone 16 family. So going back to Webflow, let's rename this Meet the iPhone or iPhone 16 family. And the same thing, we're going to align this in the middle. So go to typography and under there, press center align. But if you can remember in Apple's website, this text was not bolded. So to fix that under typography, go to weight and press 400 normal. Now we're going to change the font. So it's not going to stay the same, but just if you ever want to change the boldness, it's always the weight section. Now that we have both of our headers, let's create the row of two buttons. Now, as you can see, I've changed my layout a bit. I put my Apple's website on the right side. It's covering 25% of my screen. It's just going to be easier to go back and forth this way. You can also do that. Now, in our navigation, go to our navigation or just press Z as your shortcut. Select the div block, select the plus, and search for a grid. Now, selecting the grid, as you can see, it's a grid of two columns and two rows. So let's remove the one row by going to the right side and under layout, let's just make it one row instead of two. And then pressing on the grid, go to the plus and then search for a link block. And then pressing on the link block, press Control C and then go to navigation, press on the grid, Control V. Now we have two link blocks. And then let's name our link blocks. So let's press on the link block and name this button link. Now we have our name, name the other one the same name. So search for button and then there it is, button link. Apply that same class. This will make sure that everything we do on one link block, any changes we make will reflect on the other one. So now select the left link, go to plus, and let's insert a div in here. This will act as our button. And then when you have your div, go to plus and search for text. And then you can see the text block right here. Press on the text block. Now, whenever you insert anything into a link block, any sort of text is going to be blue and underlined just like any link. So to fix that, let's go to our navigation, go down and find our button link that we created earlier. That's our link block. On the right side, go down and find typography right here. Under typography, let's first of all change the color to black, or let's change it to black for now just so we can see. We'll change it to the right color later on. And then under there, you can see decor. Press the X button. It's the none button. And then as you can see, we don't have any underlines and we don't have any blue text. Okay, so now that we have fixed the situation with text, let's go to our navigation, select the div block, Control C, press the second button link on the right side and Control V. So now to align both to the center, let's go to our button link on the left side, give it a second class, a second name, and let's make that second name left. Enter, and then go down to typography, and on the right side of a line, choose right alignment. And then go to the second button link on the right, give it the second name, right, and then give it an alignment of left. Now this makes sure that they're both centered. Now let's make sure that the button has a bit of padding on the sides of the text, as you can see on Apple's website. Let's go to the div block, and actually let's rename this so it's easier. Let's rename this button div. And let's name the other div block on the right side the same name, button div. There it is. So just apply that. And then let's give it some padding on this under spacing. Let's give it a padding of 10 pixels on each side. Now, as you can see, one of them has a blue background with a white font. The other one has a white background with a blue font. So to do that, let's go to the left button div and give it a second class left. And let's go to scroll down to background color, and you can either find the right blue color from here or just press pick a color and just get the exact color from Apple's website, and then go up to typography and change the font from black to white. And I know that it's not the same way in Apple's website, but just stick with me for a second and we'll make everything right in just a minute. And then go to the button div on the right side. Let's give it a second name, right. And then background is already white or transparent. We want to leave it as that. Go to typography, color, and let's use the same color on Apple's website. Okay, so there it is. Now let's rename this since we have not renamed them. Let's make it learn more. And let's make this shop iPhone. Now, two problems. First, the color extends too much to the left side. And second, the corners are not round. So to fix that, first let's fix the extending issue. Go to your navigation and select the div block at the very top, right here under the container. And then go down to, or actually go up to spacing and layout. Press on the layout and make it flex. And then after that, go to direction and make it vertical. Now what you're going to do is go to align. You have a grid here and just make it center. Now, as you can see, we don't have that issue anymore of it going out too much. Now, the second thing we need to do is actually make the text align to the center. So go to the learn more text, make this center aligned under typography, and the same one for shop iPhone. There it is. Now to make the corners round, let's go to the button div, scroll all the way down to radius under borders. It's also under background, so you can find it easier. Select all corners and make it, let's make it 25 pixels, see if that works. Yeah, that's it. We found the right amount of pixels. And let's go to the button div on the right side. Also scroll down to borders, make it 25 pixels. And as you can see, there's a border color for this one. And to make sure we can do that, let's go down to borders, style, make it a solid line. I think a weight of one, a width of one is good, 1 pixel. And then for the color, select on the color, search, and same way, just go and find it. And one problem I can see is that the padding on Apple's website is a bit bigger, and you might not be able to see it from the first side, but it is. Let's change the bottom div padding on all sides to 15 pixels. Actually, on top, I think it's less. So let's leave the top and the bottom 10 pixels, and then the right and the left, let's make it 15 pixels. Yeah, I think that looks way better. Now, going back, we can see that the heading is a bit too big to meet the iPhone 16 family. So let's press the heading 2, go down to typography, and let's change it from 38 pixels to 25 pixels. And let's make the buttons a bit bigger. So just to do that, just go to your text blocks on both sides and make the size of under typography, make size, I want to say it's 14, let's make it 16. Yeah, 16 is good. So same on both sides, 16 pixels. Okay, that looks way better. Now let's go down and we can see there's a build for Apple Intelligence under that. And this one's a bit more complicated because the color of the text is a grid color. It's not just one color. But I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So select your div block, the biggest one that has everything in it. Go to your plus and let's add a text block. Now, what I want to do is give it some padding, or actually, let's give it some margins. On the top, let's give it a margin of 20. Actually, let's give it a margin of 40 pixels. And it says built for Apple Intelligence and period. And I think this is just a bit bigger than what we have in here. Let's see, we have 14. Let's make it actually 15. It's not as big as the buttons, but a little bigger. Built for Apple Intelligence. So now the grid colors we have like blue, purplish, pinkish, and then there's a red and an orange. So to do that, go to the background, selecting the text box, go to backgrounds, and then don't select color. Above color, there's an image and gradient. Select plus, and then next to type, select linear gradient. And then go to your degrees, and let's make this 90. Okay. Now we're going to have to add some color. So press on the black one, select color, and let's just have basically go of what they have in here. So first one they have is blue. Very nice. And then we need to add a color. So to add the color, we need to just press on this line in here. So let's add the color in here and just tap. There it is. And then next color is a darker color. It's like a purplish or like dark blue, I guess. So let's select the purple. There it is. Now the next color, it starts with Apple, so let's add it right there. It's at 38%. Next color is, let's see, let's select color, it's pink. So select pink. And then after pink, we have an orangish color, so let's select the orange. And as you can see, the orange takes up most of the space, so orange or reddish, I guess. And then very last color, we have an orange color again, just a bit lighter. Okay, or actually, I think it's a bit more lighter than that. Let's go further down. There, I like that better. So now, as you can see, right now it's only the background, but this is the next step that you need to do. So selecting the text block, under background, there's a clipping section and it's set to none. Select the clip and clip background to text. And as you can see, we have exactly what is set in the Apple's website. So far, this looks really good. Let's fix this one thing right now because it's really bugging me. Go select your heading 2 and on the margins make this 0 and go to iPhone, the heading, and on the margins make this 20 on the bottom, the margin. Now go to heading 2 again and on the margins down on the bottom margin, change it from 10 to 20 or whatever you have, just change it to 20. And then go to your grid number 2 that has both of your buttons in it and give it a margin of 10 pixels on the bottom. Yeah, this looks way better. I like this. Now, the last element, as you can see, is the background. And then for the background image, let's just go to Google and search for iPhone 16. It's okay if we don't use the exact same image, as an Apple's website. That's totally fine. We're not trying to fully duplicate it. We're just trying to learn off from it and make a website that is similar to that. Let's search for iPhone 16 line. Maybe they'll bring up something better. I think this is the one we'll use. Save image. Let's save it to my downloads. Save. And then what we want to do is go to our hero section add a background under backgrounds, image or gradient add, and then choose image, and then let's upload that picture that we just saved, and we come to a problem. Even if we make it a cover image, it's going to take up the whole page. And if you see on Apple's website, it's always on there, the text. So let's actually do this. Let's delete the background image, go to your navigation, select the container, and go to plus, and let's add an image. And to make sure this image is center aligned, press on your container again, scroll up and make this under layout, make this a flex, and make it vertical. And put it all in the middle, so it's all in your site. Now, just so we have some padding between the div block and the image, select your div block and set the margin on the bottom side to, let's say, 50 pixels. Or actually, let's make it 40 pixels. Okay. And then replace image. So press on the image, settings button, replace image, and just take the image we had on here. As you can see now, that image is perfectly aligned. And what we're going to do next is, you can see the background of the image doesn't match with the background of the page. So we'll just basically go to your hero section, go to background, select on the image, pick a color, and just basically pick the same color as in the image. And then there you have it. We just basically replicated Apple's homepage or Apple's hero section. Now, this was just the first part, and we're going to have a lot more coming. We're going to learn how to make the About section of Apple's website, and videos are going to get progressively faster as you guys learn more and more. So that was it for day one. Make sure to subscribe and turn the notifications bell on, because I'm going to be dropping 2 to 3 videos per week, so that you can always stay on track and always practice your web development skills. So that was it for now. I hope you'll have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.